It was on the chair.
It was on the chair.
Right.
Faster, more energy. That's it.
Ready?
Stand by and action.
For me, directing is all about how to illustrate what's going on in the heads, hearts and souls of people. So I really wanted this to be Rhaenyra's experience of the world and to be with Rhaenyra the whole time. Ryan said to me, I don't want this to be in the usual style.
Somebody said that art is creativity meeting limitations, and I always loved that description of art. And I think a great bottle episode is that. So you just take these limitations, like, let's do an episode that's all just on sets that we own and cover, and like, what is that?
So push the guys back a bit. Yeah.
As a writer, I love these episodes because they are really challenging. And it was Sarah Hess's idea to tell this story of the first days of Rhaenyra's reign solely from her point of view.
I knew I wanted to push myself and the team. So Alejandro and I watched lots of films and we thought about how we could develop this style for episode 3.
We actually talked about Conclave a lot because it has that kind of same energy to it and that feeling of this political thriller that's really on its feet, and you're on edge for a while in the episode. You don't really know why.
So it's a very POV style episode, very intimate. We wanted to give that different perspective. So we created a bunch of rules in terms of lenses, in terms of camera moves. Whatever she experiences, we experience. If she's not aware of it, the audience shouldn't be aware of it. Everything's seen through Rhaenyra's eyes. We call it the Rhaenyra experience.
Ready and action.
Claire did a lot of subjective shooting with this, a lot of POV, a lot of leading and following shots where you're in Rhaenyra's headspace and able to spend time with her and see what she's seeing or see her seeing things. And I think that brings a real life to the episode.
I banned any over-the-shoulder shots of another character to Rhaenyra because she would never be able to see that.
The small council would look bigger because she would never lead the small council, or the hallways somehow felt more crowded. Maybe she would see servants that she never noticed before when she was there. Most of episode 3 shot with one camera. We used a special kind of lens for more POV, intimate shots.
I loved this idea of being behind her, like behind the workings of her brain in a way. Just a simple camera move, but it's like crawling around her head to her ear, and then the world in front of her being out of focus. So we picked out this T lens, the hero lens we called it. In every scene, we shot something from her POV, and we wanted to take risks and be quite daring with it. It worked out really well, and we evolved the look with Sean, the camera operator, and Ren, the brilliant focus puller.
We'll get a few of these, then we'll break it down a little bit more. Thank you.
The hardest challenge was to take yourself away from a conventional approach to any scene, especially when we had 5 or 6 other players in the scene, in an environment like the small council chamber or the Red Keep where we are now, where you were so used to that environment and you were so familiar with the angles, to almost start again and write a new language for that particular story. It required a great deal of patience and concentration. We did some very delicate moves, which Emma was fantastic at.
It was quite daunting. Something that I felt I needed to be super clear about was the sort of driving machinery, I suppose, of the episode. You see Rhaenyra come up against a lot of obstacles, but as an actor, one can't play obstacle. That can only sort of stand in the way of a character's objective. So really sort of understanding what it is that's driving her. And I think the thing that, in conversation with Ryan and Sarah and Claire, the thing that became really clear was that it's a growing obsession with formalized legitimacy that carries us through 3.
You've been invited into the castle to meet with the Queen, a private dinner with the Queen, a great honour afforded to all of you.
It's a new era, and
waiting to see our new Queen. We're having great wine and waiting to see what food we're gonna cook.
we're hoping for an amazing feast.
Rhaenyra has a wonderful plan, and that is to feed disgusting rats and gruel and worms to these very rich, entitled people.
Boiled rats or whatever those were, I don't even want to know. I walked in that day, I saw that, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to give my notes on this scene and then move on to whatever else is shooting on the other stage.
And we start taking stuff over. It's really exciting to have a rat banquet. I mean, that's brilliant. I mean, nobody gets to do that very often. It's a bit gorish and nasty and, it just makes you think a little bit differently. We had various conversations about it. At first, we thought it was going to be rats and squirrels and chicken feet and just unpleasant heads and things. And Claire said, no, I just want it to be very, very simple. Some sort of gruel and the rat.
You gave me that side.
We weren't going to kill any pet rats, so obviously we had prosthetic rats made to go on the plates.
We're just serving our lovely food. So we've got some rats and beetroot. Yeah, really delish.
I'm perpetually amazed at the things served in this show that are allegedly edible. Because that's the amazing thing. All of it, it's eat all. You can have what you like.
On here is just rice, just black rice and beetroot and aubergine and some dates. And the eels are they're made out of the same stuff as fish sticks.
And it did look amazing. Like the set deck team did such an incredible job.
It's very liquidy, this one. Very soupy.
Thank you.
And I really remember actually that when they were first served out, there was quite a strong response from the actors playing the nobles. So I think that's when you know that the job's working.
The fuck is this?
He's my friend.
His name is Gertrude. And he's going, yummy.
Hello. Sorry, you don't want that.
Roll stand.
Rolling.
The way we plan the scene is like presenting the army first and seeing how powerful this army could be, but then showing the other side, which was Daemon, Ulf, and Hugh with their dragons, and how they were overpowering this, 10,000 people army.
Thank you, everyone. Standing up, please. Thank you.
From my side, it was about how to deal with the crowd replication to turn 150 into 15,000. You have to plan the replication work very carefully with visual effects and with Claire and Alejandro.
We decided that we were going to tile some shots.
When we want to increase the army, we scan lots of people on the day, and then we turn them into digital soldiers and replicate with CG. A lot of shows don't do it anymore. It takes time to do.
So we have to shoot the army in one position, then ask them all to move along, shoot them in another position, then move along again.
You have to shuffle them because you don't want the same people at the front of the line.
Your group B, your group B coming in for me, Jack. Thank you very much.
They were, are you A or B? A group's there, mate.
Yeah. Keep going.
There's a lot of prep work up front with our military advisor, Paul Biddis, and our crowd team, and myself. So working out the best layout for the army that looked good visually and then worked well for visual effects in terms of giving them the ease of replication by placing certain things like a line of horses would maybe block what you don't want to see behind.
Sure, mate. There's nothing left, buddy.
Sure, mate.
Good boy.
Targaryen is Darren's dragon, the Blue Queen. She's a juvenile dragon, but very kind of stately and reserved.
Ultimately, we want to act in the way an actor would. This is a character in the show, so we want to kind of imbue that life into that character and make it multi-layered and give it some depth and something that people start to recognize the individuality of this one compared to the other one and how would this dragon react in this situation. I think that's when you kind of make it a living, breathing part of the show.
She is undoubtedly smaller than Silverwing, Vermithor, and Caraxes are, but she's a nuclear weapon in her own right on Ormond's side, and I think will, have a great role to play in this story yet to come.
The King's Landing set this time around has been greatly expanded by Jim Clay and his team.
A production decision was made with Kevin and Ryan early on that this year we would not return to location in Spain. We felt we'd exhausted the streets there and that we were becoming repetitive on what we were going to show on screen. We decided it would be valuable to build Flea Bottom, and that's what we've done.
I think we've maybe officially run out of real estate. I think we have to start sacrificing some things, and we have to demo the old to build the new. The condition of what we were told was unusable land in season 1, given how we've been able to develop it over the years, has really been a boon to the show. So many of our exteriors are so reliant on that space just because the show is high fantasy. It's just very unlikely you're ever gonna find a real historical structure that can give you what you're getting on that backlot and also be controllable and that you can do anything to it and bring the heavy equipment in. Without the backlot, we would not be able to produce the show.
A set which came in relatively late in the process of writing was the Grand Step Square, which we'd traditionally filmed in Caceres. We'd filmed there in season 2, and we'd cut directly in the same sequence to the backlot, and I think the feeling was we could not see the join. As we were not going back, we needed to create it here. We designed that in a way which was just, I think, 10% reduced scale, 70% of it built and 30% visual effects extension. Dan Clay, the art director who'd done Flea Bottom, he took that on and was paramount in drawing that and creating it. And I think everybody has been utterly convinced by it.
We've had some great weather this summer, and perhaps King's Landing has that Mediterranean feel. Everything dried out, there's a lot of dust, and when the horses rode through town, you just absolutely believed you were in, Westeros.
I think the location becomes another character, and because we have such an emotional attachment to the location, to shoot it on the backlot was very nice.
Ready, and action.
Long live Rhaenyra!
Where do you need me to knight you, my friend?
Either side of the camera.
Yeah. And knight you.
And then Ed's go ready to shoot. Just follow the camera as it goes between.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh!
Nah.
Slap.
Wait. But the pop was not close.
Yeah. Hey!
Like, my day 1 vibes are gonna be the same as my day 69 vibes, aren't they? I still can't believe I'm here. It's like someone fucked up, didn't they? Fucking idiots.
Following the rules of episode 3, we wanted the knighting to be her experience. How would she feel about this? This is not as grand and as epic as somebody else would experience it. This is something that she had to do. So we wanted this experience to be as she would live it. Even on the camera, we didn't want to do grandiose shots. We didn't want to do like huge wides. With the light on the camera, we just wanted to do as simple as it could be.
How are you? All looking good, looking knightly.
Very nice.
I feel like we're good.
I think it's all right, I think we're all right.
The dragon riding costumes for Ulf and Hugh and Addam, they're all different. It's not a uniform, they're bespoke to them. I remember when we talked to Ryan about it, they've sort of rummaged through Dragonstone and seen what they can get and they can find, and that's what they've put their looks together as. So they're all individual looks, and they're meant to look like they are dragon riders from Dragonstone.
My costume fits absolutely amazingly. I've never had anything in my life fit so well. And it feels light as well, but obviously it's real metal, so I'm ready for battle,
Addam is the most sort of conforming to being a Targaryen because he's used to being in service. He was part of the Valyrian fleet. So his armour is the articulated metal plates. Hugh is a blacksmith, so he would appreciate the craftsmanship within the armour. So he's chosen something that's beautifully crafted, very practical, lots of movement. Ulf would just choose what he thinks looks the most expensive and the most flamboyant.
Oh, this is velvet. Real but it does the job. Yeah, the boys have gone a bit chainmail armour. I've gone a bit fancy.
Oh no, it's for camera. Is that
It's just for camera.
Okay, here we go. Ready, and Action.
In the name of the mother, I charge you to. In the name of the mother, I charge you to defend the young and the innocent.
Is that it?
Sir. Oh.
Thank you very much. I'm here all week.
Back at home, which is nice, back in your own bed, get the green banners down and all that.
In episode 3, one of the backstories is they're changing from Hightower green to Rhaenyra's black.
This is how wonderful it is when you work with production design and art department, because Claire, it was her idea entirely that we could create this sort of bonfire, and then the idea grew from that we would have this sort of changeover, this huge sort of chaotic changeover throughout the whole of episode 3.
Yeah, great. And where you are doing what you're doing is great. Stop it. Hold fire there, mate. Hold fire.
This can be quite confusing because obviously we've gone through the different seasons and they've changed rooms for various different reigns. And for Rhaenyra, we've tried to enrich her world again, back to the strength of what once was. For me, the colours really help.
All that furniture that refers to green, all the banners, curtains, whatever's taken out of rooms was initially piled up in a courtyard set on T Stage. We'd always see that happening in the background of any scenes when we're in the Red Keep, of banners coming down, furniture being carried through, it'll be piled up there.
For example, when she has her huge argument with Corlys, we want to set it in the tunnel so we could see that all the big pile of belongings that was in the inner courtyard were being taken out to the outer courtyard. So later, when she's in the outer courtyard, we could set fire to it.
It was on the chair.
It was on the chair.
Right.
A fair bit of planning on a good positioning for it. We had to make sure it was safe.
Faster, more energy. That's it, that's it.
Lots of conversations with special effects about the safest but also the most effective way visually to light it.
What is it? Like the...
it's just charcoal.
Charcoal, okay, interesting.
Just to add sparks to the flame.
Okay.
We shot the bonfire at about 5 a.m. There was an overwhelming smell of petrol, that it was so visceral and slightly dreamlike because of the time. It meant that there was an element of danger to it. It felt sort of carnival in some way.
I love this idea of the end sequence being all the old burning, and there was going to be a shift in things at the Red Keep. Everything was going to change.